Mark Zuckerberg's journey in politics is a good representation of political strategy behind the billionaires and elite in American society. And he's a good antithesis to, say, people like Elon Musk, who have led the charge in freedom of speech and who have kind of taken the government on and put everything on the table with high risk, whereas Zuckerberg has been very low risk, has kind of been in the background and simply been opportunistic. See, Zuckerberg in his interview with Joe Rogan clearly points out at the very beginning that the boot of government was on his neck. And you have people like Mike Benz, who's very popular on Twitter, who's coined the term the blob, known as the administrative state, and how the blob operates and comes down on tech companies, and how really, when you have tech censorship from these platforms, it isn't the company itself, but it's the government weaponizing its overwhelming force of administrative processes and threats of legal action to get tech companies in America to do as the government pleases. But Elon Musk, to contrast with Mark Zuckerberg, simply knew that he was in a strong enough position to where he could say, screw the blob, I'm going to take him head on, and he saw Trump as his weapon to do that. Zuckerberg, on the other hand, kind of had his own self-discovery journey. Of course, like Elon, but probably more so, Zuckerberg was an intense Democrat. He, of course, was backing Hillary Clinton in 2016, gave money to Biden in 2020. He's infamously promoted left-leaning thought. He himself is probably a very left-leaning individual, so of course, having that bias on his platform is exactly what he would want. But a few things happened that I think did indeed change Mark Zuckerberg's course and trajectory. Of course, one thing that he understood during the COVID pandemic was that his life was on the line, whether he liked it or not. And to some extent, did he want to be a complete slave to government? My gut tells me no, he did not. Second, he did see some kind of self-discovery journeys of, I think, becoming more conservative, because I don't believe he's actually what I would consider a conservative. But he did start taking his physical fitness more seriously, which in previous videos, I've talked about how physical fitness is a sign of elitism, how having a good physique will be a sign of those who have a lot of influence and those who are in the top 1%, but also having a good physique, being in the gym, is kind of stupid and silly as it sounds. Also, studies show that those who actually go to the gym obviously have more testosterone and tend to lean more right wing. So it is quite possible that he himself literally had a journey of right-wing philosophy through a fitness routine. It's also, I read things that he got on testosterone, and that of course has been proven to affect people's political ideologies as well. And he's come to appreciate masculine energy, which is a huge vibe shift, because you even see that in the fashion world, where from about 2005 to 2015, the ugly looking tech CEO was a very popular trend, where they were wearing hoodies like myself, but almost never professional. Whereas now, they're adding senses of style and swag. You know, Zuckerberg's growing his hair out. He infamously looks 10 times better than he did 5 years ago. All that to say that aesthetics is inherently also in some ways right-wing as well. So Mark Zuckerberg has kind of made this funny personal journey towards kind of more center-right-wing philosophy. But more than anything, I do think he smells the opportunity in the water, because let's say that he is being honest and that the government's boot was on his neck. He probably saw the edge of that precipice and said, I have no other choice than to follow the government's rules. But with Donald Trump now in office, he has an ability to carve out a moat like he hasn't before. This isn't 2016, where Trump was in the middle of draining the swamp and still betting on Trump was a little political risky. This isn't 2020, where you have the authoritarian of the Biden regime coming down on you because of healthcare policies. But now it's 2024, where the administrative state has no choice but to focus all of its resources on simply surviving. It's not even trying to go to war with Trump, but now they are on the run. So Mark Zuckerberg is simply going to use this as an opportunity to create as much freedom for himself, as much of a moat for himself as he can while he has the time. Certainly, he will know and understand that all the people who were controlling him and his company beforehand, he has a chance to now control as well. But he's not as brave as Elon to take them on in a uneven fight. He wants it to be a fair fight. Now, is this good or is this bad? I think it's a good thing. Even if Mark Zuckerberg isn't right-leaning, even if he's an opportunist, even if I don't like the guy, the fact that voices like myself now might be more easily conveyed on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on anything in the meta universe is a good thing. The fact that now center-right to more right-leaning ideologies will be more perforated into the metasphere of influence is a good thing. The fact that he's firing people who are believers in left-wing, super progressive ideologies, a good thing. You want to see those people lose their jobs. The jobs don't benefit society in any way, shape, or form. And you also don't want to fund these people because money is what leads to power. And the less that people of a certain ideology, the less money they have, the less power that they have. So even the act of him firing people who have high-paying jobs is an excellent thing. So you can view Mark Zuckerberg with skepticism. You can certainly still not like the guy, although I've grown to have an appreciation for him because of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and his lifting, and he's still a giant dork in a lot of ways, but that makes him very memeable. Even if you don't like him for all those reasons, you can appreciate the opportunity that we now have to kind of influence his platforms. And it's our job to make sure that those opportunities don't go to waste. Once again, the conservatives and right-wing sphere have the momentum going. We shouldn't look at opportunities like Mark Zuckerberg with suspicion and deny ourselves the opportunity to start promoting ourselves on their platform. We need to seize those opportunities and push even harder to reach new audiences and push the advantage that we currently have.